hard and did a great job of disrupting my timing. And so when the opportunities are there, I think that's something I did miss early in the game, is there was opportunities to make plays, and you got to make those plays, because if you don't, they're not going to allow those opportunities again.
Let's go out to Kansas City, where our Chiefs reporter Nate Taylor is standing by. Nate was at practice earlier, so got to see a firsthand view of what's going on. What can you tell us about the Chiefs preparing for the Eagles, Nate?
Yes, Laura, the Chiefs are wanting revenge on Sunday after losing to the Eagles in the Super Bowl, and as of right now, their preparation largely includes Hollywood Brown, their second-year receiver that's been with the team, and because of the injury to Xavier Worthy, Patrick Mahomes is going to have to rely quite a bit on Tyquan Thornton and Hollywood Brown at his receiver position to see if he can get plays down the field. Now, Hollywood Brown did have 99 yards on 10 receptions in Friday's game against the Chargers, and as of right now, Patrick Mahomes understands that not only does he need to be protected, but he needs to take risks. He needs to throw the ball down the field early to get the Chiefs some momentum, maybe perhaps a boost compared to their flat start in Sao Paulo. But right now, the Chiefs are preparing as if maybe Xavier Worthy is not going to be on the field, which means largely the load will go to Hollywood Brown, Tyquan Thornton, and of course, Travis Kelce.
Yeah, interesting, and something to keep an eye on, especially an offense that we're looking for a little bit more explosiveness out of. Thanks so much to Nate Taylor joining us here. Now, this will be the fifth head-to-head matchup between Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, including the playoffs. In the first two, the Chiefs offense starred, averaging 40 points a game in a pair of wins. The last two have not gone as well, as we know, with KC averaging fewer than 20 points a game and 100 yards less of offense in a pair of losses. Dan, are you concerned about the Chiefs' offense now?
Oh, yeah. Unless this offense changes schematically, it cannot get back to the Super Bowl. It just doesn't do anything that the good offenses in this league do right now. If we took Patrick out and Patrick made 3 or 4 plays and throws that you're like, oh my goodness, but that's it right now. And we've harped on this for years. One, they don't go underneath center and throw the football down the field enough. And when they do try and do it, they're unsuccessful doing it. Now, Andy Reid, one of the greatest coaches of all time, Matt Nagy, a very bright offensive mind. If there's 2 coaches who can fix it, it's them. And so I'm not telling everybody right now that this is the concern. I'm telling everybody in Kansas City and your fans, if this doesn't change, you will look back in November and December and be like, why aren't we winning? And I'll tell you, this will be the reason why, okay? Like, this is the foreshadowing. If this doesn't change, if you don't go downfield more, if you don't get under center more, if you don't build play action more, if when you do, you don't hit those shots downfield, this will be the reason why. And we can come back to this episode of NFL Live and realize what the problem was.
Well, the game plan on Friday night was Patrick Mahomes be Superman and the rest of you were along for the ride, right? Because I don't know what the offensive identity was leaving that game down in Brazil. And you're talking about trying to take shots down the field more. Worth noting, it's a tiny sample size, but Patrick Mahomes on Friday night, 6.6 yards per attempt. He's never had a season where he averaged that number or below. Even if the scheme changes, do they have the guys right now? Do they have the horses to do it? Like, I'm just telling you, do you think a defensive coordinator is sitting there saying, you know what, we got to account for that Tyquan Thornton down the field because he's fast. He is fast. That's incredibly accurate. He was a 4.28 guy in the combine coming out of Baylor. That being said, I just don't know that there's a single player on this offense until Rashee Rice returns or Xavier Worthy returns that a defensive coordinator says, we build the game plan around him. Patrick Mahomes excluded, obviously. Is there a single skill guy that you feel that way about?
Remember, Rashee Rice, week 6, so you got a long time for then.
It's going to be a little bit of time, and that's the concerning part for me, right? When Xavier Worthy comes back, you're hoping that he can fill that number 1 receiver void until Rice is there. With no Xavier Worthy, if there's no Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, does he have juice down the field? He does, but for your number 1 guy, everything needs to be on the table. You got to be able to push down the field. You also got to be able to win on slants, out routes, some of these more mundane or boring routes that Patrick Mahomes can rely on and say, hey, this guy's one-on-one, I'm going to you. I don't see that right now with the way the roster's constructed, but I will say, big picture, when Rice comes back and Xavier Worthy is healthy and Hollywood Brown and Juju and Thornton, like, you have a receiving core, not even including Travis Kelce, that is more than enough for this offense to be special.
I agree with that. And it's 1 week. But when you watch the pass concepts And I understand they're not their maybe marquee guys.
Yeah.
Guys, spacing's poor.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting there going, what's Patrick supposed to do with the football? And so can we throw the graphics of some of the numbers up? Like, you go back over the last couple seasons. This is a team that's in the conversation with, like, the Cleveland Browns when it comes to throwing the football downfield.
I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but go ahead. I don't want to.
In the success of doing it.
It's Hawk's first show back in studio for a while. He forgot.
Shots already.
And just like the success of doing it. So something's got to change. Yeah. Or they're going to be sitting there. The Super Bowl is completely out of question.
Eagles this week, Ravens week 4, by the way.
That's the scary part about the Chiefs is because, like, they have struggled at the wide receiver position for the past few seasons. Wow. But this year was like the year where it was supposed to be hopeful, right?
Man, Dan, that's crazy. I mean, I don't think
this is what Patrick
realize.
Mahomes.
He was factually accurate on the Browns' part.
Yeah,
in his defense. Yeah, I see what you mean now.
Giants,
in his defense,
and the Chiefs are right there just a
so
touch
they're in
ahead
a
of
world
them.
where they don't do it enough, and then when they have done it recently, it's been bad.
Yeah. Again, that's worst completion percentage with throws 25-plus air yards. All right. One thing to keep in mind, too, is just the AFC in general. Their competition has gotten so good. We saw the Ravens and the Bills on an incredible classic Sunday night. New on NFL Live, Josh Allen speaking less than an hour ago about his receivers.
Very confident. I know sometimes at the goal line, defenses bring in some bigger personnel, and they gap down quite well. So we'll look at it, we'll learn from it, and we'll figure it out. Yeah, it means a lot. Anytime that we can get the ball into our playmakers' hands, especially down the field, it's good things for us. So again, we got to keep working hard, keep finding ways to get the ball to them, and start faster.
Yeah, the Bills got 20 receptions for 240 yards from their wide receivers in the win Sunday night over the Ravens. Those were both the most any team got from their wideouts in Week 1, and quite a contrast from last season when the Bills ranked 22nd in the league in receiving yards from receivers. So many times in this offseason even we're like, who's Josh Allen going to throw the ball to? Hawk, what did you see specifically from Keon Coleman on Sunday?
Yeah, I've seen an evolution. I've seen a maturation in Keon Coleman, right? He talked in the offseason about the things he needed to get better at, and you saw it come forward in Week 1 of the season, specifically how he was off script, right? When they played the Ravens a year ago, I was watching Keon Coleman, and he was a rookie, but it was like he didn't know what to do once Josh Allen got out of the pocket. That is such a big part of Josh Allen's game, is extending plays. And when you watch Keon Coleman, not just the beginning part of the route, you can see from the start to finish these elongated plays, he is going as hard as he can. He has a plan. It's detailed in the way that he's uncovering to give Josh Allen a surface. That's special for a young wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, I remember talking about that last year of, okay, when is he going to take that jump? So I think you saw some of the more refined route running. There were some of those timing throws that mattered. I never correlated the off-script stuff that we saw being that big of a deal, but watching those highlights, I'm like, oh, yeah, man, that's a huge part of their offense and a huge part of his evolution.
Yeah, big change.
Seems like Buffalo, too, has accepted that, I think coaching at its core is, identifying what a player does well and highlighting those things, avoiding what he does not do at a high level. Not a super speedy guy, not a great separator, but maybe some of the off-script instincts are going to take a big leap. And also, the catch radius is huge. He's a former basketball player at Michigan State. The kid in the red zone should be a real
3 Bills wide receivers, by the way, had 60 yards in Week 1. That only happened once last season for reference. All right, we're just getting started on NFL Live. Glad you're with us today.
I was actually cramping the job before that, the turnover happened. But I went to the sideline. If anybody paid attention, I was drinking pickle juice on the sideline already. I'm like, Sarah, I need to get hydrated. Like, I'm cramping. I'm starting to feel cramps. And then we went back out there, and obviously, it happened. My fourth and 3 happened. But if I wasn't cramping, we definitely would have went for it. I believe.
Interesting. Hawk, anything Lamar needs to do differently this week against the Browns?
I guess drink more pickle juice. I don't know. I felt like Lamar played a pretty good game against the Buffalo Bills. It was unfortunate that had the fumble. The defense didn't play great, but for him, he was very efficient. I've trusted in all the decisions he made watching the film back. So in Week 2, I guess you can ask him to put more on his shoulders. But in the long run, is that really the best thing? So I would say, Lamar, keep doing what you're doing, and it will click eventually.
More
play
new
corner.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. More new on NFL Live. Raheem Morris on the